I will call to order this meeting of Monday, November the 27th, and if the clerk would please take the roll.
Councilmember Archibald.
Here.
Councilmember Ashford. Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Lamb.
Here.
Councilmember Ruiz.
Here.
Councilmember Warden.
Here.
Mayor Rep.
Here. Mayor Pro Tem Ashford is unable to make it tonight. She had some dental work done today, so. We have minutes before you, a special meeting of November 13th and regular meeting of November 13th. Is there a motion to receive and file?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Archibald. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Lamb. All those in favor, or is there any additions or deletions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes stand as submitted. Public comment. Now is the time if anyone in the audience wishes to address the City Council on any agenda item or other matter that's under our jurisdiction, please come forward, and please give us your name, and you have 4 minutes.
Reverend Arnold Kuntz, Executive Director of the Blue Water Area Rescue Mission, 1920 24th Street, Port Huron, Michigan. July of 2016, Pathways indicated that they would be handing off their portion of the homeless shelter to another agency, hopefully within St. Clair County. As of a Times Herald article roughly 9 days ago, it was stated that there was no agency that had stepped forward in order or is showing interest in that facility. Just to state for public record, the Blue Water Area Rescue Mission has submitted a letter of interest in that facility. And if it should be at some point in time that we are able to assume that or a portion thereof, we will gladly do so. That is my comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes? Yes, sir.
Hi, my name's Alex Mackin.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
Oh, sorry.
When you get to the podium there, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Alex Mackin. I'm actually really nervous to talk in front of you all. I have a piece of paper to kind of clarify things, if I can hand it out, or you go and pass it down.
Just give it to the Councilmember Harris. He'll pass it down.
Thank you. I live at 1703 16th Street. And we've been blighted, and our lawn has been mowed without our permission, and I've been informed that, this is how you all do things. But it's been really frustrating and really freaky. I really don't know how to go through this process, and there are a lot of prohibitive factors as far as the cost of just defense and arbitration. And, I've heard that maybe the Blight Department's under a little scrutiny, and I'd like to put in a little suggestion just to modify the process so that the human factor is not eliminated, because I really feel like I've been treated like an animal or a lesser person through this whole process. Nobody the whole time has done anything but just, sneak papers into, and really just talking to the person who says that they have a problem with how our lawn is or whatever is going on in the whole situation would have been greatly appreciated. This whole situation just seems like it smacks of a scam, really. I feel like they're justifying their own purposes to exist, to keep their job and get paid, really. And I understand that people in the neighborhood are going to have complaints about each other here and there. And that's why my proposition is that when there's a complaint lodged, the complainant and the complainee must be brought together. If the complainant's not willing to actually address the issue with the person who they're complaining about, there's no complaint. Further, if it's a real health risk or safety risk, then it can be deferred to the proper agency. Let's say somebody has boards sticking up with nails in their lawn, or they have a bunch of, whatever, car parts or whatever, in their yard. That is essentially negligence, or, you can refer to the police for that. But I got kids, I got real problems, I have to wash the dishes when I get home. I don't need to be told when, when and how. It's important for me to be here. I came back from across the country because I was called here by whatever you want to call it. I feel for this town, I care about this place, and I want to be part of it. But experiences like we have gone through has been really mortifying and dehumanizing. I hope you all consider this. I hope you all read it. I'll pass it to anybody who wants. I got a bunch of copies that I made.
We will look at it and look into your...
You all have a weird one.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the city council this evening? Seeing no one, declare public comment closed. We only have 2 items on the agenda tonight. The first item, please.
Approving the extension of the McMorran Civic Center Authority, governing authority through March 31st, 2018.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Archibald. Is there a second?
Support.
Councilmember Ruiz. Discussion. Before we get into the discussion, because I was part of the meeting and so was Councilmember Archibald when we met with the attorney and the board from McMorran following our meeting as a group. We went over a lot of different things, and it was decided that at that time that perhaps we should extend the authority for at least 3 months in order that everything is done properly and that we have time to, if we want to, transfer liquor license and to discuss it in further as to what we actually want to do. So there were suggestions as to whether or not it is run more like a commission, like Parks and Rec for the county runs theirs, and then there's certainly there's a few options. One is to just let it go away. One is to, continue it, and one is to really kind of change its focus as to what it is. So all those things are still being discussed, and the McMorran Authority itself, they asked if they had a chance to, after the holiday, they have a meeting this week, I think, do they not, Wednesday? And wanted to be able to talk to their board members and that and discuss it in further too. So we didn't want to wait to the last minute in order to extend it. So the resolution is put on to extend it just for 3 months. And we'll still continue discussions. If anybody has any questions.
Mayor Rep.
Yes.
Go ahead, Tim.
Mayor Rep, the 3 months extension, would that start January 1st?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, it would. Did you have a question?
I think it's wise in terms of this going on 3 months, just to make sure it's been a good, positive group of people who've really been through some difficult times along with us in decision-making, and I think we owe them that. Obviously, we're gathering information. It looks like there's a possibility of change of, you called it focus, and I think that might be it, but I think in all fairness, this is the right thing to do, to extend it and just to take a good, solid look at it to make sure we've done that. And we'll take it from there. I just think this is a good move.
Anybody down here? Or do you want to add anything, Sherry?
Covered it. Thank you.
Mayor Rep,
Councilmember Warden?
just have a couple of questions on just this process. I was looking through the city charter and looking through, and I know over time I've seen that, it seemed to me for candidates and everything to do with the McMorran Civic Center Authority is, it always states the 6 city council members and the mayor are fully responsible for all decisions, whether we expand it or not. And I guess I just have a little, I haven't really heard anything back since, you guys had another meeting or not.
I did send you an email.
Well, okay, well, I'm saying verbally at discussions, but just going forward with this, I think that, if there's some more meetings to go to, if we're able to, and again, I'll probably try to attend and discuss, but more as a, this body itself, I think hopefully we're going to be really involved in all the details and given some input into this and to make sure that it's fully our responsibility to do it, along with the McMorran Authority Board. So I would look forward to some maybe more potential meetings together with them so we can have that dialogue directly with the McMorran Authority Board and City Council together, where it kind of keeps these discussions so that it's not just, a couple people at a meeting and then kind of, let us know how it goes. So that's just a suggestion that I personally feel, and hopefully maybe.
Well, at the
might
meeting that
help.
we had as a joint meeting, it was, at the conclusion of the meeting, it was decided that there would be just a small group that met to at least discuss it and see what we could come up with, and then it would come back to the group. And then we're still at that point right now. It's
Yeah.
a little hard to have 7 council members and 5 commissioners and get us all together and try to discuss something. We're trying to kind of hammer out something that's the best thing for all of us. And when you're in that type of a situation, it would not normally be the whole entire council that would be there, but certainly when it gets to a point where there's something to discuss, because we've come to some conclusion, yes, before it gets finalized, it would definitely come back to council.
Okay, so I just going forward in the next 3 months, again, I support extending it. I actually would support extending it for a substantially longer time. But while we're doing these discussions to try to see really what we're going to do with that, municipal corporation in the current form, I would like to make a suggestion that we have a couple more potential joint meetings with the McMorran Board as a whole.
Well, that's up to the council. If the group wants to have that, then so be it. But I mean, that is what was decided at the last meeting, was that we would meet on a smaller group. They would have 1 representative, and we would have, or 2 representatives, of which they did, and we had 2 representatives. So, and the attorney and the city manager, and that was the 6 of us in the meeting. So, if that's something the council wants to change, that's entirely up to the council to change it, but that was what was decided at that meeting, was that was how we were going to meet until there was something substantial to bring forward, and then we would meet. So, certainly intended on doing that, so.
Okay, well, that's my suggestion
point.
tonight. That was good meeting, brought it back. Now, we're going to have 3 more months of a potential extension of it, and I'd like to, I guess, submit my request that we might consider that maybe in January sometime, and make sure that we are having very good dialogue as a whole of their board and our city council as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you for your suggestion. Is there anyone else who would like to comment on this resolution?
Mayor Rep, another comment if I could, and that is, whenever we've had and selected people to do any kind of preliminary meetings and such, it is almost like herding cats to try and find one common day to have any of us to have those special meetings as they pop up along the way. Somehow we manage, and there's 3 dates thrown out and so on, and it really is cumbersome to do that. But when we decided to have those people, I've never hesitated in being able to call you or James or whomever and get that information back, and that question most likely is going to be passed on and shared with the rest of the council via email, that says, here's a question that's come up, or here's some information to answer that question, and perhaps answer some other questions that people have had along the way. It seems the smoothest process, and again, I wouldn't have anybody shy away from saying, this is what I think, and putting out their opinions, and I think it's a quicker, streamlined way having a positive dialogue and gathering information and forming opinions along the way. And this gives us plenty of time to do that. But it's tough. I understand trying to have everybody there, but you just can't have that process. It's tough to do.
Thank you for your comments. Anything else? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Warden?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 2, please.
Accepting the donation totaling $50,000 from private donors and authorizing the allocation of $30,000 from the Main Street DDA Tax Increment Fund to fund the downtown lighting project.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Archibald. Is there a second?
Second?
Mayor Rep.
Councilmember Lamb, thank you very much. It's their discussion.
Mayor Rep, I'd like to, since I am a building owner, and I feel it might be a little bit of a conflict in this, I'm going to be abstaining from any discussion or vote on this issue.
I would like to confer to our city attorney to see if that's possible or not.
We actually have in our rules of procedure, we have a section, actually Rule 17, that deals with voting. And it would have to be, basically, city council members are required to vote on something unless they have a conflict under our charter or under state law. And as I understand the vote that we're taking today, I don't see this as being a conflict for Mr. Warden at this point.
I believe it only has to do if there's monetary gain from it.
Yeah,
Isn't that what it is?
there's no monetary gain to Mr. Warden, and he's not a party to the contract or any contract that we're voting on. As I understand the vote tonight, and I looked at this carefully, is the vote is to accept funds and then transfer additional funds and then proceed with the installation of the lights.
Correct.
And so I think whatever issues Mr. Warden may have with his own building may be a separate issue from what the vote is tonight. Now, if the vote were something more than that, then maybe we would get into a conflict area, but I don't think we're there at this point with this vote.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your, count on your opinion. Thanks.
Mayor Rapp,
Councilmember Archibald.
I would just, I'd like to say thank you to City Manager Freed and to Natalie for thinking outside the box on this. I know it's been all over Facebook, and the public loves the idea. It's a great project. It's very innovative. I think they've done a great job of making sure that they looked into how it could be done so there'd be no damage to anyone's property, and so that the entire city can enjoy what I think is going to be absolutely beautiful and really light up our downtown. So I just wanted to recognize both of them and anyone else who's been involved in this project.
Thank you. I concur. Anyone
Mayor
else?
Rapp, yeah, just
Councilmember
a
Hess.
comment, I've been fighting the cold for about a week and a half, but just the amount of determination I've got from the different people downtown and stuff, the few that I've talked to, they're really kind of enthused about this thing and stuff like that. The only couple of questions popped up, what about our lighting with the trees and stuff? And I said, I don't think there's any jeopardy there, and I think that should be cleared up. And I really think that's important, because they really set the tone in the fall and the winter. And I think the other project is going to do something well for us in the summer. And of course, always the biggest concern, I've talked to James briefly about it, and we always talk about security and stuff, and we know what happened a couple of years ago when we had the little helicopter incident. And
Yeah.
I think that's all been kind of taken care of now. So I just think it's a good thing, and it's nice to hear the community support the city council before we, make even a vote on this. So it's going to be a plus. Thank you.
Oh, I agree. Did you want to add on the trees too?
Yeah, actually, I just real quickly start off by thanking our DDA Director, Natalie Watson, who is fighting a cold. Apparently, she brought back the plague from Europe for all of us. Half the diocese is sick right now. Thank you, Natalie. But we have held dozens of meetings. When we put together the DDA Director position, the downtown coordinator, we wanted someone who could make those connections. And so Natalie, getting easement signs, going door to door, meeting with the business owners, explaining the project. She has her meetings with all the downtown business owners, I believe, once or twice a month. Her listserv she's started. Those relationships that she's built has really made this happen. So really, this isn't a city manager project. This is a Natalie Watson project. And so if it goes well,
I know what you're saying.
just in case the Blackhawks incident, but we will not be installing them with the Blackhawk. We'll be using bucket trucks and a lift. We have worked so closely, so when we meet with all the downtown business owners and building owners, a lot of them are engineers and builders, and so the common question is how are we going to do this where we don't damage the structure of the building, and how do we make them safe? And so we've taken the input in from engineers, and we have a team of engineers in-house. We have engineers who actually own buildings downtown and builders downtown. We will be installing them on like a sled. So it'll be a weighted sled that actually has no holes in the building, does not penetrate the brick, so it protects the facade, protects the roofs, provides the proper tension. We will receive a 45-day permit from MDOT, and in that 45 days, we must demonstrate a maintenance and inspection schedule that we will inspect these lights, that we will maintain and make sure that they stay safe. We have to maintain a proper slope to height ratio, so MDOT is requiring us to keep a really high height so a truck can't hit them or nothing can pull them down. So if anything were to pull them down, it would rip down every single traffic light in the downtown before it would hit the lights. That's how high they're going to be. So this is an exciting project. I want to especially thank the James Atchison Foundation, the Community Foundation, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce, the Spartan Fund, Jerry Kramer, Gary Fletcher with Fletcher Falco Shouty Law. These people who donate and these organizations that donate to our downtown, this isn't just like a one-time donation. They are consistently there giving us the resources we need, whether it be in downtown, whether it be at McMorran, whether it be for our events, to make this happen. And so this would only be possible if it wasn't for the generous contributions of those donors who are always there to help us. And the DDA for allowing the capital funds out of the Main Street TIF, which are designed for enhancing the streetscape, so this is what they are purposed for. And also the ingenuity of the downtown business owners for letting us on their roofs to look at their roofs to say, okay, how can we make this work? So this really is a community project. I think it's going to make our community, our downtown, incredibly unique. We are hopeful that we can have them up in the next couple weeks. Buying that much lights of this caliber is not easy. Multiple vendors, calling up Bronners, getting quotes. It's very difficult to work with, to bid it out. So working with a local skilled trade welder who can do the custom work for every building is going to be different. And that's very unique, and so we need someone who can do it properly and do it right. So this has been really showcasing not only our local talent to fabricate these to make this happen, but I think when it's done, it will demonstrate a very unique downtown. But only a downtown like Port Huron with all of our stakeholders could make a project like this happen. These projects don't happen all across the state for a reason, and it's because a lot of cities across the state can't come together to make it happen. So I applaud Natalie and her effort. She has just been one of the best decisions I've made since coming here. So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who has any comments? Well, I think it's going to be a wonderful project. I hope everybody participates because I think it's going to be really nice. It's going to put us on the map. If there's nothing else, we will take the vote.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb.
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz.
Yes.
Councilmember Warden.
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald.
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. That concludes our short agenda. And we must be getting in holiday mode. If there's anything else that anyone has to bring before us?
Just a couple, Mayor Rep.
Yes, Councilmember Warden.
Just had a couple announcements or comments. That's okay. Wonderful. Just want to thank all the fellow business owners and building owners downtown and all the people that came out and the different groups that participated in the Santa parade. It was on Friday after Thanksgiving. It was just a great turnout throughout the day. And again, as a down there decorating windows and spending multiple days of putting lights up, and even some of the church organizations and other people offered to put some Christmas greeting cards, big displays in there and lined up. It just really, it makes such a warm, just a wonderful place downtown. And I just want to make sure, so thanks for such a great turnout for that, and also great involvement. Over at the, of course, downtown, the small business, I think there was a small business Saturday as well. There was quite a few people walking around downtown in the different areas, and even the other surrounding parts of Port Huron, going to some of the family-owned smaller businesses, and it's just activity all day long, which was great. And then, of course, over at the theater, I think we had just a pretty, I don't know if it was a sellout or not. It was a Thursday, a huge. Not a Thursday, I'm sorry, Saturday. It was a huge concert for some local based artist, local concert over there that had just a whole lot of draw into town, line around the door. And it's great to see the McMorran Theater with such a draw. And of course the hockey rink had activities throughout, and also the Larry Mann's hockey tournament kind of started off the local high school hockey activities, and that was held over there as well. So I just wanted to make sure, I truly appreciate it, the people that were involved. I want to share those comments of how wonderful the activity and the bustling and different people involved throughout Sperry's Theater was just nonstop, and it was great to see a lot of family and friends. So that's all I had to say. I just wanted to make sure I said my 2 cents. Thank you.
Is there anything from anyone else?
Madam Mayor, just real quick, I apologize. I forgot to even answer Ken's question. The lights on the trees, I talked a lot, but I didn't give you anything you wanted to hear. The lights on the trees will be wrapped just like they do every year. In fact, our forestry crew is out there hanging the trees, wrapping the trees. We had to replace a lot of lights that were there for 2 years. In addition to that, Natalie's worked with the forestry crew to purchase uplights. We have, I believe, how many trees we have downtown, Natalie? 72? Is it 72 on the south side of the bridge, and then probably a heck of a lot more on the north side of the bridge? We've purchased LED uplights, which will uplight, in addition to them being wrapped, they're going to be uplighted in Christmas colors. But what's really cool about the uplighting is they're LEDs, so they are cheap to run, they last forever, but they can do red, blue, green, purple, and white. So for the rest of the year, we will uplight those trees with a nice white light. So in the summertime, not only have the lights overhead, the trees will be uplit. And that's something they're working on right now to get installed. So sorry about not answering that question.
Thank you. And the tree in front of McMorran looks great. So my granddaughter got to help Santa pull the switch on after the parade and light it, so she was thrilled. If there's nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Meeting adjourned.